Hi everyone, my name is Siamak and welcome to my geosynthetics podcast. Um, so this episode, I have a guest that was my guest maybe about 3 years ago, 2020. He is one of my best friends. I actually have the honor to call him my friend, Kent von Maubeuge. He is my guest today. Hi Kent, good morning your time, good afternoon my time. And yeah, welcome to this podcast episode.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon into the world and to you. And I'm pleasure to be your friend. You're my friend as well. We had a lot of nice things we did together, and I hope it will continue. Even though we
Absolutely.
have this distance and less traveling now, but we'll get to that, I guess.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, thanks for accepting my invitation again. We met each other again in Rome, and I said, Kent, what are you doing these days? And as you started telling me, I said, maybe just wait and we do a podcast, and you explain there what you're doing. So big news, kind of surprising, shocking, because I cannot even imagine Kent Mobeck retired, but that was the news. Tell us about it. What are you doing these days? Because I know retirement for you is just a different activity or different style, maybe. So, what is that, and what do you do these days?
Yeah, that's true. Even though I think we all know retirement comes at one stage, I didn't work towards it, which is, I think, a good sign because that means that you love your work and you don't really think about the time after. So people who work to get to retirement are maybe not that happy in their job.
Yeah.
But again, that's just my personal opinion. Yes, in Rome I was retired already, and some people ask me why I'm still coming to Rome. Well, first of all, Rome was to be held due to COVID earlier, and I had a few papers there, and then was postponed after my retirement. So the company and I decided I should still go. I still had activities going there. Yeah, the retirement is great. It's a nice stuff. Still allows me to work. That's what I still do. I work a day a week for my old company Naue, which I'm very happy of because the thing is I'm doing their educational stuff. So
Mm.
I'm teaching the new generation, the new people, with courses and lectures, and that gives me the honor to give things back and sustainable back to the industry, at least at the moment to our people and clients. And that is, of course, only one day a week. Rest of the time, nothing changed. We all know that retired people never have time. It's always like, they're busy, which is good. Keep on moving is always a good idea. And then I work 3 days a week in the store of my wife. She has a jewelry store and makes jewelry. And one half day I lecture at the university, geosynthetics, of course.
Yeah.
And yeah, that leaves me the same amount of 1.5 days free rest of the week like I had before retirement. So I'm retired, but I'm still doing stuff, and that's great. I love it.
Yeah, perfect. No, that's really great. Really, really great. Um, well, Kent, you mentioned COVID and the postponement of the conference, obviously, and lots of conferences actually got postponed, and lots of other activities got postponed. But we were thinking, COVID is going to come and go, and then after that, we just go back to where we were pre-2020 or something. But that wasn't the case. People are talking about post-COVID. We actually can very easily see the world around us has changed quite significantly. What do you think about it? How do you see that change, and where do you think the geosynthetics industry has gone post-COVID?
That's a really good question, and I think it's something where we really have to make up decisions and take
Mm.
decisions. This I again, I hope nobody gets me wrong. I mean, this COVID is people got sick and people died and sad about that, but that happened also when you had a regular flu as well. The only difference now was that everybody was concerned because it was something new, and we had these shutdowns and we had these traveling bans, and you couldn't go into the countries. We never had that before. And I think that really dramatically changed the industry, at least for a short time, because suddenly we were all in the situation we couldn't go to the client, couldn't go to the customer, couldn't go to conferences, couldn't talk face to face. Companies shut down the budgets, didn't allow traveling. Marketing budgets were shut down. Some people went on part leave in working hours. So, companies, we had this home office situation, which the people loved, which gives something new to the people, which the people want to stick to. And now companies are moving back in the direction and saying, okay, home office, should we allow that or not allow that? It's a benefit, but not always appreciated because you're losing the contact to the person.
Yeah.
And I think that's the very dangerous thing because some companies are now using this as cost cutting, saying, okay, we're going to do less traveling, we're going to do less conferences, call the client, don't go to him. And I'm still old school. I mean, the relationship we build up, we didn't build it up during the business meetings. We build it up maybe during lunch or during dinner, having a glass of. Okay, am I allowed to say wine? Yeah, sure. Have a glass of wine or a good meal together. That's where
Yeah.
you get this bonding to the person, this relationship. And some companies are now not catching up anymore. They're
Yeah.
keeping this momentum, saying, "Oh no, we can do it from here. We're going to you just call the client, do a Teams meeting or a Zooms meeting." And we just had several on European committees. We just had a face-to-face meeting, and it was the most effective meeting we had because we discussed, because people could raise their hand. You could look at person and say, "What's your opinion?" You can't do that in a Zooms meeting. So I think those companies who are going to go back and maybe not 100% to the old way, it's always a good time to evaluate, okay, did we really need to spend the money for that conference? Did we need to spend that business trip there? You can evaluate that, but I think you should allow it again much more because nothing beats the direct contact to the customer. Now, if I look into your eyes and I see you, okay, it's good, it's one-to-one. But if you have five people in front of you, you can't look into the eyes, you can't see their reaction, you can't see their movements, all these emotional, I call that emotional intelligence, is
Mhm.
having, recognizing what is the other guy really thinking, and it has to go back to that direction. Maybe not in the pace as we had before. We don't need a geosynthetics conference like every month. That was maybe an overkill, but you can step back, think about it. But I think you should still move forward and say, okay, we need to meet people. People meet people. That's how you
Absolutely.
do business.
Yeah. That's the kind of human element that's really missing. I really like your comment about connecting with people. And earlier you mentioned you are actually still teaching at university and working with the young people, and also teaching at the company you work for the younger engineers. So my next question, Kent, is basically about how do you see, the new generation coming? Because, we're dealing with graduate engineers who went to 4-year Bachelor of Engineering program, and they didn't even go to university for 3 years of it. So they are out of university very kind of used to that sort of style of, living and working. What do you think, and how do you think the younger generation are reacting to this? How difficult it is or easier it is for you now to teach them about geosynthetics, both to graduates or graduates that come and work for geosynthetics industry, and also people or younger undergraduate students at universities?
Ooh, you have good questions today. um, Yeah, that's changing the world as well. True, I agree to that. I think the old school people, and I don't want to say old on age, but people who have learned a different technology and how to work. I mean, as I did my master's, I went to the library and picked books and had to sign out books and I had to read them and I had to go to a photocopier. You couldn't just take your phone and scan in things like that. I mean, the technology, and I love that technology as well, because I can, you can use your iPhone for scanning documents and transferring it directly to Word documents and work with that. That's definitely a real help. Same thing is with ChatGPT. I mean, I'm using that as well. But
Mhm.
my experience now, for especially for that one, and I had that experience with my students because the last 2 years we didn't do face-to-face lectures as well. Our tests were not done face-to-face; they were done online. And I could see on the answers that no, that cannot be that guy came up with that answer. It's not like either it was too perfect or it was like totally wrong.
Yeah.
The problem with this, and it's the same with Google, so it doesn't matter if it's ChatGPT or something else. The only thing is ChatGPT is giving you the answer directly. If you don't know the answer, you don't know if it's right or wrong. So if you just take what you get from the computer, um, then you're in trouble, in my opinion, because you have to evaluate that. Now, for you and for me and for those people who know the answers and use that, it's easy because we can select, we delete what's wrong because
Yeah.
we know, oh no, that's not correct. That's or it's a different approach that doesn't fit into here. But the students who know nothing and they just take it, they believe it.
Mm.
And I think we have to teach the people or this young generation to evaluate and to look at from a different size. And that's why I love these face-to-face classes, because I
Mm.
directly confrontate the students with a question. I say, hey, this is the question. What would your solution be? I do a game role. I say,
Yeah.
you're now the contractor. I'm the design engineer. Now challenge me. This is what I want to do, and you do it in a different way, or you want to have an alternative product in there. Tell me why. And at the big, it's hard because they're quiet. They
Yeah.
sit in there. I mean, they use the technology. I had to get used to that. In old days, they had their phone in front of them and they were playing on the phone, and you knew they're not paying attention.
That's
But
right.
today they have the iPad in front of them, and you think they're playing games or checking WhatsApp or something. No, they're making notes directly on the computer on the iPad. I had
Yeah.
to get used to that and understand that that's the new document they have.
That's right.
But I think it's going to move in that direction,
Mm.
but it's you cannot replace human contact. You cannot replace the conversation. You cannot replace talking with the people
Yeah.
and trying to to learn what are his real emotions. Otherwise, it's just going to be straightforward business. Like if you go to a big retail store on the internet and you buy something, you don't see the product. You only see a picture. You see some quotes from other people. And I didn't mention a company. That's good. I don't want to do that. But if you go into the store, you can talk to a client, to a salesperson. You can touch the product. You can look at it. That's totally something different. And it's same in our industry. So it's going to move in the direction. The young generation is changing. They are more flexible. They switch their working hours differently. They work different. They want more this forgot the name about that. The work-life balance. That's it. They,
Yeah.
they they have a different work-life balance than other people. They
Mm.
want to, and that's good. That's, maybe I did that wrong in my life, that I worked too much and didn't enjoy life that much, but that's what I decided for. That's what's made me what I am today. But the young generation, they realize that there's more than just work, and they move a bit quicker to another company if they pay a little more. So,
Yes.
yeah, it's going to
Yeah.
be difficult for all companies, and in future they have to learn that the money does play a big role, and this work-life balance issue.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's exactly right, Kent. I think for example, we deal with graduates or young engineers that haven't been even leaving their house, or
Yeah,
didn't even go properly to university before they graduated. But now we want them to go to like remote sites, like mine
yeah,
sites or gas field and things like that. And that's totally, they cannot do that. Um,
They suddenly have to meet people. Wow. Ooh,
exactly.
I'm going to meet people. What do I do?
Exactly. And the other thing is that I kind of think, the generations as they change, like, we also were young, and we were learning from our seniors. But, the speed of technology, it has been in the past 30, 40 years, a lot more than the speed of us aging. Like, you just mentioned a few times, that we need to sort of catch up. We need to see what are they doing in their iPads. We should also learn about that.
Yeah,
Um, it in my opinion, it should be both ways. That's what I tell to, like, graduate or young engineers that say, yes, I need to learn, and catch up with, the world. And you also need to, try and catch up with, people that are senior than you. So it should be both
abs-
way.
absolutely. We should not ignore what the young generation can do and the speed they have. And I totally agree with that. And I'm lucky that I have children who work a lot with new technologies. And even my granddaughter, she's now 10. She doesn't get an iPad that often, but she can already handle it fairly quickly, and they learn very, very fast. And I mean, the disturbing part is what I saw a few days ago: a 2-year-old kid in her sitting in next to her mom. The mom was talking with somebody, and she had an iPhone and was playing games and already pressing around with 2 years. I mean, okay, that's. But again, we don't know. I don't. We shouldn't stop technology. Definitely not. But as you are absolutely said correctly, we learn from each other, and that's why I love this teaching because I students teach me things as well, and it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing, Kent, I was going to ask you because you mentioned briefly about the work-life balance and you like the I think style of working as well. Some people look at work and life as two different things. And to be honest, that's maybe majority of people. But I have seen and I've actually worked with people, and this is what I really enjoy. Like, and I don't want to be like around those people all the time, who actually combine these two. Like their life is their work and their work is their life. That's how they contribute, that's how they learn, that's how they develop, that's how they even, like, influence the people around them. And I think you are one of them, Kent. Really, honestly speaking, you are one of them. Do you want to talk about, like, that sort of satisfaction, that you get from work, and how you do that, and how people can sort of, try to not just say separate work and life, but try to get them closer.
Yeah, you need in your free time, you need things to do on your own. You have to keep away with that. But again, you don't just shut up your mind when I go and drive home, it's not like I leave work behind. And I drive around, I see a construction site, and then I said, oh, they could use geosynthetics here. And
Yes.
sometimes I even stop when I see a designer and go up to him and we talk and I tell them, hey, don't you think you could? I mean, they're suspicious at the beginning if somebody comes up, especially, a retired person. They always, oh, you have to. We did in our old days. We did that like this and like that. No, I don't do that. I'm interested. Like they were installing pipelines just recently in our area, water pipelines, and I with a technology I haven't seen. And so I went up to them and I spoke. And first he looked at me and I said, "No, I'm just interested. I'm engineer. I don't give up on that." But again, I think you need to find an adequate substitute to your work as well. You have to do something in the rest of the time which satisfies your life, which continue to develop yourself, do new things, learn things, take care of your hobbies. Family, of course, is most important, and friends. I don't get nobody should get me wrong that I'm not mentioning that. That's of course the number one. But it's also important to do something for yourself. I mean, take care of yourself. I have, you get older, you meet a lot of people who have issues where, families lose partners and friends of ours, and then you have conversations with them. And yeah, then I always ask them because I learned that as my mother passed away, somebody asked me the question, what's the most important thing in your life? Or who's the, and of course you automatically say my kids, my family, or something else. No, it's not true. It's yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't work for others. So you have to do something for yourself. It's not always you sacrifice for the others. That's the wrong way. That's going to be then you'll be empty in a few years. Then you have to build up energy. You have to do something just for yourself, and then I think those things work together. And the moment you think, my job, I don't want to go to work today. That's where you have to try thinking, am I doing the right thing? And I've
Yeah.
seen people, they moved from civil engineering and suddenly took care of old people because they said, no, I can't deal with that stress anymore. I want to do something good for the world. So, that's take care of yourself. I think that's the
Yeah.
most important thing.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Um, so now, Kent, I wanted to ask you the fun question that I normally ask people at the end of the every episode. So this is our second time doing this. So I've already asked you about the highlight of your career, and I didn't have to go back and rewatch that episode. I still remember that your highlight was people, which I really love about you, and I like things that I remember from every episode, and this has been one of them. So people are the most important thing, and we kind of talked about it today as well. So I've seen how emotional you can be when you talk about your family. I can feel that. I can see how passionate you will be when you talk about your work, and your hobbies. So we have talked about this a few times. I think once you were in Australia, where you were looking for locations to go and find those things that you're always looking for. Like before you answer this question about, obviously, I want to ask about your hobbies and what you do in your free time. The fridge behind you, which as soon as you opened your video, I looked at it
Oh,
and I kind of tried to make guesses about what they are. But you tell us about that and then about your hobbies.
I didn't even see that. Yeah, that's true. That's my world fridge. At As I started traveling at the beginning, I collected small magnets from all places where I've been, and my wife just loved that, and I brought things. So even when we went on vacation, we always bought a magnet and put on the fridge. So it grew over the years. Now, obviously, I'm more the lucky guy who saw, or maybe unlucky guy. You don't know if that was good or bad traveling that much, but definitely there's a lot of great places, South Africa, Australia, US, Canada, Brazil, Argentina, Chile. I've seen a lot of places again, but people now might be envy at me and say, oh, how much did you see? But when you travel, you see the airport, the hotel, the conference. I never put extra days on traveling to stay there and look and do sightseeing because I said my place is at home. So I went back home. But remembering those nice places, the good dinners you had together, the friends you met there, there's a lot of memories back there. And
Yeah.
also on the places where I went with my wife on vacation in Berlin, in Holland, and in South France, and all those nice places. In Sweden, there's a few. That's our new location where we go to now. It's good for remembering those nice times and not to forget them, which you don't forget anyhow, but you see them every day. So yeah, that's yeah, good spotting, my friend. And yeah, friends are most important. Hobbies. Okay, a few years ago, I decided not to do any sports anymore because I was always when I did a sport, I wanted to do it 100% correct. I always had a goal. I wanted to achieve something. I wanted to move forward, get better, 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 which is like Winnie Pig wheel where you keep on running and running. That's not that good. So I quit those because it was not good because I had to take time from family to practice. But now a friend of mine, he's a tennis coach up here. My the no how do you call it the upcoming husband of my daughter. He
Future
start
husband.
he's Yeah, your future husband. Yeah, he started taking tennis lessons, and my daughter said, "Well, you should play with my dad because he was a good player once." And so he challenged me. So I started that now again, and I have fun. So I'm just going to do it on a practicing, an easy way, just just moving balls, not too much, not tournaments. That's something I'm going to catch up because if I start training again, I want to play competition, and then I get very envious, and no, I don't want to do that. Yeah, the rock collection is still my big thing. I still
Yes.
collect rocks and gemstones. I still work on them. I cut and polish them. I make jewelry out of them. I collect for myself. I do some things for the store. That's my big thing. I just bought a new machine with which I can polish stones now. So I'm going to develop that. That's sort of like putting work and hobby together because my
Yeah,
wife has a store and I can use it
that's
as a
right.
hobby. I over the last years and during COVID, I improved the barn I had. So I took like 100 square meters. I put the concrete. I put a wood working area there.
Yeah.
Now I have all my equipment in there. I also have a little chess corner where I can play chess if I find anybody. Not too many play chess. And I have a fireplace there so I can enjoy it. It's like the men's room.
Yes.
Um, yeah, and then of course, yeah, the store of my wife where I'm a salesman. Then it's nice you talk with people and you have the communication, and I just love it. And then our
Mm.
dogs and animals, and there's a lot to do. I'm not going to rest. I'm not the person who's going to end up as a potato chip on the couch. I'm always going to be moving and be busy, and if I don't have anything, I'll find something.
Great.
So
That's excellent. That's excellent. So, yeah, no, I love talking to you, Kent. Every time we speak, we have always, very interesting things, from wines and steaks or, jewelry and stones and geosynthetics as well. Like that's what kind of connects us all together.
absolutely.
So yeah, I want to thank you for taking time very early your morning. I messaged you before the podcast and said, just take a strong coffee and
Right here.
so there we go. So
No,
and yeah,
I honestly, I love all of you guys. It's you're all in my heart. I met so many people, and that they still have contact with me shows me that they didn't forget me. I know one day I'll be gone, no, and it's not so important. But it's all this good things, good meetings you had with the people, and I'm not away. I'm always available. Anybody can reach me. You have my private WhatsApp. We'll stay in touch, but the world is going to move on, and it's it was a great time. It was a great journey, and definitely is going to continue. And I just want to stay in touch because people are still people, and it was a great time. And you never know, if you ever come to a conference into Germany or Europe, people can just give me a call and we can meet if possible, and we'll see. The world keeps on turning anyhow, one way or the other. And
yeah,
it was, yeah, you're a great guy. Your podcast is fantastic. Thanks for doing that. And I sent you a recommendation. You should contact Peter.
yes, 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 yeah. No, I have some names from you, and yeah, definitely. Like I love doing this. As I said before, I learn from every episode that I do, things that I remember that helps me along the way as I go. Um, so I finished this episode, Kent, with what we have been looking at. I think most of my audience have been looking at from the start, and that's to the right shoulder, or actually your left shoulder at the right side of the picture that says today is a good day.
Oh, you
So
saw that one as well. Yeah.
yes,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, you have good eyes. That's
with
true. Yeah.
glasses on. Yeah, today is a good day. So you starting your day in Germany today. I'm 100% sure that today is a good day for you and for
A
every
cold
one of
one,
our
a cold one as well.
cold one. Yes. And for everyone that who's watching or listening to this podcast, thanks again. And we catch up with you listeners or people who are watching the podcast very soon in the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you. So did everything work well?